The illusion is breaking. America isn't collapsing with sirens or smoke. It's collapsing at the checkout line. A grocery bill that looks like a ransom note. A car battery that costs a week's pay. A rent hike that swallows a paycheck before it even lands. People feel it everywhere, not as headlines or graphs, but as the quiet panic of realizing survival itself now has a price tag. The strongest economy in the world has turned into a treadmill where running faster only keeps you in place. So what happened? And how did the American dream become a subscription you can't cancel? When everyday bills become financial landmines, it starts small. An email from your power company. $466 for a 700 square foot apartment. That's nearly a quarter of a full-time paycheck at $20 an hour. For lights. For air. For existing. Then the car breaks down. A simple battery swap, something that used to cost under $100, now drains nearly $300. The AAA estimates that the yearly cost of owning an ordinary car in 2025 is above $12,000. 10 years ago, it was half that. Driving to work now costs as much as a luxury. The collapse doesn't announce itself with chaos. It hides inside the ordinary, the bill you ignore for a day, the overdraft notice that hits before payday. These small shocks add up until daily life becomes a balancing act between dignity and debt. But groceries, that's where the facade truly cracks. The grocery store, America's new battlefield. What used to be a $150 grocery run now costs $400, sometimes $600. The USDA says food prices are up 25% in 3 years, while wages have crawled less than 5. That isn't inflation. That's strangulation. A gallon of milk once cost $2.90, now $4.25. Eggs jumped past $5 a dozen before settling at $3.50s. Ground beef, a budget staple, is $6 a pound. Families of 4 now spend over $200 a month on food. In 2019, it was $8.30s. Food has turned from a basic need into an economic weapon. And worse, people aren't even paying for it with cash anymore. Over 40% of grocery purchases now go on credit. That means bread, milk, and chicken come with interest rates. A $200 shopping trip ends up costing $260 after a few months of revolving debt. The grocery aisle isn't just where people buy food, it's where financial humiliation begins. Debt is the new normal. Over 40% of Americans now carry a credit card balance month after month. Average household credit card debt sits above $7,000. But it's not luxury spending. It's rent, gas, utilities, and food. Survival swiped at 21% interest. Each declined card, each overdraft fee, is another reminder that the system doesn't reward effort, it punishes existence. Even utility companies now charge convenience fees to let you pay online. Being broke has become expensive. And hovering over everything is the largest chain of all: student loans. The student loan trap. For decades, education was sold as the escape route. Study hard, get a degree, and success will follow. But the truth? It's a trap that millions can't climb out of. In 2025, Americans owe roughly $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. Over 43 million borrowers owe an average of $37,000. Many owe over $100,000, some $200,000 or more. Payments can reach $500, $2,000 a month, almost half a median salary after taxes. This isn't education, it's lifelong servitude. Interest compounds faster than progress. One borrower paid $20,000 in a year and still watched their total go up by $10,000. And when they tried to escape through loan forgiveness programs, 98% were denied. The system doesn't just fail people, it feeds on them. Colleges raise tuition while stacking billion-dollar endowments. Banks profit on the interest. And the government makes sure the debt can't be erased in bankruptcy. Knowledge used to be power. Now it's collateral. The death of the middle class. Remember when the middle class meant stability? A steady job, a home, maybe a car in the driveway? That dream has been replaced by anxiety. Right now, 63% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That includes professionals, teachers, nurses, engineers, not just minimum wage workers. Tires that used to cost $500 now approach $1,000. Rents in major cities climb 10 to 20% per year. Medical bills destroy savings overnight. Even dual-income families earning $120,000 a year often end with nothing left to save. Middle-class security has become middle-class survival. Every month ends the same. Debt up, savings down, stress through the roof. People aren't living. They're treading water in an economy designed to drown them slowly. Who really profits from collapse? While households drown, corporations are swimming in cash. In 2024, companies on the S&P 500 earned over $1.7 trillion in profit, near record levels. Real wages barely moved. It's not a bug. It's the business model. Prices go up faster than pay, forcing families into debt. Debt generates interest. Interest fuels banks and investors. The whole cycle converts survival into revenue. Wall Street firms now own hundreds of thousands of single-family homes, turning former homeowners into lifelong renters. Blackstone alone controls over $120 billion in real estate. Every rent payment builds wealth, just not for you. Energy companies post record profits while electricity prices soar. Food giants like Tyson and PepsiCo quietly raise prices 15 to 25%, then boast about margin expansion in their annual reports. Healthcare, the ultimate cash machine. America spends $4.5 trillion a year on healthcare, $1,300 per person. Yet medical debt remains the leading cause of bankruptcy. Every part of life, food, shelter, health, education, has been turned into a subscription service. Miss a payment, and the system reminds you who really owns your time. The psychological toll. The economy isn't just draining wallets. It's breaking people. Surveys show that over 60% of borrowers experience anxiety or depression tied to money or debt. Financial stress now ranks above relationships as a leading cause of mental health decline. Declined cards at checkout aren't just embarrassing, they're soul-crushing. Families delay doctor visits, skip meals, or move in together just to stay afloat. The middle-class diet is getting cheaper, less nutritious, and more desperate. Hope itself feels like a luxury item. Because when you do everything right and study, work, save, and still can't breathe, what's left to believe in? Section 8, From Humiliation to Rage. Rage is what happens when humiliation runs out. 1 in 3 Americans skips meals to save money. 40% delay medical care because they can't afford it. Credit card delinquencies are up 50% year over year. People aren't just frustrated, they're furious. A $286 car battery or a $700 grocery trip isn't just an inconvenience. It's proof that the system was never built for them. This anger doesn't always show up in protests. Sometimes it's quiet. A family giving up on buying a home, a graduate ignoring their student loan emails, a worker taking a second job just to afford gas. But beneath the silence, something is cracking. The trust that holds societies together, the belief that effort leads to stability, is fading fast. Collapse isn't coming. It's already here. Paycheck by paycheck. Bill by bill. Swipe by swipe. The question no one can escape, so where does it end? The truth is, collapse isn't a single event, it's a process. And it's happening in slow motion. Every overpriced bill, every impossible rent, every loan that never shrinks, all of it chips away at the foundation of a country that once promised opportunity. The American dream didn't die overnight. It was sold, repackaged, and rented back to the people who built it. The only question now is how much longer this quiet collapse can continue before quiet turns into something louder. Because when survival itself becomes a business, there's only one direction left for people to go, and it's not up.